Washington Pod presents Earl Nightingale.
People are forever asking, how do you motivate a person? People in management, teachers, and parents ask, how does one go about bringing out more of the best in the people in our charge, for their own good as well as the good of society? And the answer to that question was given in the 17th century by the French scientist and philosopher René Descartes. I forget in which of his works he said it, but I remember that he said, imagination is the key to motivation. And truer words were never put together. Imagination is the key to motivation. If you would motivate a person, teach him the importance of imagination. You have only to think back to the times in your own life when you've been filled with excitement and interest and enthusiasm. Hasn't it almost always been at times when you've come up with a great idea, when your imagination is all fired up? Imagination is a sign of youthfulness in any person, young or old. In fact, keeping the imagination active will help a person remain young in everything but years all his life. All right, how to stimulate the imagination of others? Well, with some people it isn't necessary. They're just naturally imaginative people who were raised in families in which imagination played a major role. But I think it's safe to say that these people, adults I'm talking about, are rather rare. Every business has people wonderfully talented who can take an idea and work wonders with it, but they don't come up with ideas themselves, and let's face it, most people don't. The way to stimulate imagination is to establish the climate for it. It is simply to ask for it. One way is to point out to people that their jobs will change remarkably for the better in the years ahead as new and better ideas come along, and ask them if they can come up with some of those ideas now. Why wait for someone else to come up with the good ideas? Maybe we can come up with them first. Another way is to make sure that people are made a part of new plans, that they feel their ideas and contributions are needed and important, and that they're vital members of the whole team. A few years back, a large oil company in the Middle West asked its salesmen to give some thought and come up with some answers to this question. What will the service station be like 10 years from now? Management was amazed and delighted by the answers. These men, calling on service stations every day, were eminently qualified to give some intelligent and exciting answers to that question. The same sort of thing will work with any group, and it will add new interest to the job. Suggestion systems are great and have made marvelous contributions, but they're, for the most part, passive. The best way to stimulate ideas and imagination is to ask questions, to ask for help. As for management people themselves, studies seem to indicate that they seldom bother to think very much between crises. They too need stimulation in the vital and extremely important imagination department. It's a way to motivate. René Descartes was right. The key to motivation is imagination, whether we're motivating others or ourselves. When imagination is working, boredom and stagnation disappear.